Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to part 3 of my Thanksgiving Thursday video series. I'm super excited about this video because we're getting into the sweets. So today I'm gonna be showing you how to make keto pumpkin cookies. So yeah, and for my bonus dish, I will be sharing keto pumpkin pie. I am not a huge fan of pumpkin pie, which is why I won't be making it, but it is a classic, and I know a lot of you are pumpkin pie lovers, and I want to give you a keto version of that. So that will be at the end of this video. So let's just get into the video. All right guys, so first I'm gonna show you all the ingredients that you're gonna need to make these cookies. All right, so of course you're gonna need some pumpkin. We're gonna need a half a cup of that, a third cup of granulated sugar replacement. So I'm using Swerve. You're also gonna need golden sweetener, and I'm using monk fruit sweetener. And you need a third cup of that, 4 tablespoons of butter. You're also gonna need 1 egg, vanilla extract, ground cinnamon, pumpkin pie spice, baking powder, baking soda, and you're gonna need 2.5 cups of almond flour. It does call for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but I will be leaving that out because I don't want it to be too salty because my butter is salted. So let's go ahead and start making these cookies. All right, so the first thing you wanna do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then we're just gonna cream the butter and the sweeteners together in my stand mixer. Butter needs to be at room temperature. Swerve and the monk fruit. Now we're going to add in the pumpkin, the egg, and the vanilla extract. And it's 1 teaspoon of the vanilla extract. And we beat until it's creamy. And just scrape down the sides to make sure everything gets blended together. All right, in a separate bowl, we're gonna add the almond flour and the spices plus the baking soda, baking powder. We're gonna mix that all together here. So 2.5 cups of the almond flour. Never mind my broken measuring cup. That's just who I am, guys. I got broken stuff. Not perfect. One teaspoon of each for the cinnamon and the pumpkin pie spice. I love the smell of cinnamon. I love the smell of pumpkin pie spice. It's the holiday season. Now baking soda and baking powder, and we need 1/2 teaspoon of each. Now we're gonna mix that all together. All right, now we're gonna add the dry mix in with the wet mix, but you don't wanna over mix it because it's going to result in dry cookies. Okay, that looks good. Now we're gonna line a cookie sheet with a silicone baking mat, and the reason why you want to use one of these, it's gonna keep the cookies from over browning, so you don't want them to over brown, obviously. Now we're just gonna form balls with the cookie dough, about 1.5 tablespoons each, and the dough is gonna be really wet, so wetting our hands is gonna make it a lot easier, so I'm gonna go do that. You can also add chocolate chips to this. I'm just keeping it basic. I'm following the recipe as is, but feel free to add some sugar-free chocolate chips as well. And now we're gonna flatten the cookies with the palm of our hand. I'm gonna keep my hands wet so that it doesn't stick. All right, now we're gonna bake for 10 to 13 minutes depending on your oven, but we're gonna keep checking on the cookies. They should look really soft, but golden at the edges when ready. And they're gonna harden up as they cool, so you don't want them to look firm in the oven, because then you'll have burnt cookies. So make sure that you are checking on them. So let's bake. So while that is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and make the icing, because I definitely want to add icing onto these. Kind of like a pumpkin whoopie pie. Yum, 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 with cream cheese frosting. So to make the icing, we're gonna have to let the cookies cool for a while before applying the icing, but I'm gonna go ahead and make it now. We're gonna need 3 ounces of cream cheese. We're gonna need 1 teaspoon of a powdered sweetener, and I am using Swerve confectioner sweetener, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Kind of a big bowl for this, but that's okay. You can always add more icing if it's not enough, and I may do that because this really isn't enough. For 15 cookies, absolutely not. So I'm gonna go ahead and double the recipe. And there it is, and now it's time to check on the cookies. So the cookies look done after 10 minutes. I didn't want to overcook them, so I am letting them cool. You want to make sure that they cool on the silicone baking mat for 10 minutes before you remove them, or they may crumble. And then we're going to let them cool for 15 minutes after that before putting the icing on. So make sure they cool completely. I'm excited. All right, guys, so we kind of had a hiccup with this recipe. So like you just saw, I went ahead and made the icing. And I was running out of time that day because I had a lot to do. So I made the icing, and I was planning on just sticking it in the fridge and then icing the cookies later. And that is what I did. But Jack decided to get into the fridge, and the big glass bowl with the icing in it came crashing down, shattered all over the floor. Yeah, wonderful. Toddlers are fun. So I lost all my icing. I did manage to ice one of the cookies so that I could take the picture for my thumbnail. So I did try one of the cookies with the icing. So good, guys, but I just didn't get it on camera. I do recommend icing the cookies because the cream cheese frosting is just really good. The cookies taste like a pumpkin spice cookie, really soft cookie. I could have actually left it in a little bit longer. I took them out at 10 minutes, but I ended up putting them back in for another minute because I just didn't think that they were done. But I probably could have put them back in for another couple minutes. So all depends on your oven. Just keep checking them after 10 minutes, and they should just look golden brown around the edges, but not overdone. They should look a little underbaked. So keep that in mind if you're going to make these cookies. But I do recommend making the icing. I didn't go ahead and make more icing because I was like, whatever, we'll just eat them without it. Because, yeah, kids. But highly recommend it. Just wanted to add that in. So that is how you make these pumpkin cookies. I definitely recommend them. Really good, and who doesn't love cookies on the holidays, right? And of course, pumpkin flavor, it's a classic. Everybody's gonna love them. And I do recommend adding the icing on top just to give it that little extra. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to check out my other 2 videos for this Thanksgiving Thursday series. The playlist is at the end of this video. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.